Cześć, nazywam się Anton. That's all I know, well, so far. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm glad to be here, and today I got something special for you. I will tell you a bit about how to sell your testing services. If you think, why do I need that? You will know it. The thing is that usually I'm a senior solution architect, and my job is to develop the business of the company. And usually I travel a lot. I help different clients to get what they want. And the thing is that selling the testing services is very important. I mean, if you're just, I don't know, test engineer or just a regular person, you need to always sell something to somebody, you know? You have to, I don't know, sell your good look for other people. You have to sell your ideas to other people to get something. You have to sell your goals and achievements to those who will impact your career. So basically, I'm gonna talk about how to do it. I mean, in testing, what can go wrong? And here I gather up some things from my experience that will probably help you. I don't know, you will tell me. But before we start, there will be a quiz at the end that there will be 5 questions about this topic. So get ready for that because you'll get a very interesting prize out there. So yeah. Okay, so let's start. Why this speech should be interesting for you. I'll show you some, situations, and you'll probably recognize some of them at least. Well, the thing is that this slide deck, there are actually 30 slides in total about that. You may think it's, wow, that's too much, but the thing is, I created this deck for you so you can reuse it in future. You'll have the access, well, you have the access to this deck later, so you can actually reuse some things at the end that you probably will like. People who want a promotion, people who want, who are going to the interview, people who are, just want to increase their testing budgets. You want to test something, your management says, no, we don't have a budget for that. The thing is, you need to sell them something. Number 1, you want to sell them yourself. Number 2, you want to sell your skills. Number 3, you want to sell the idea of testing. Number 4, you would like to actually sell your testing services to the other company, to other client. Number 5, you want to sell your services if you're working at freelance. And the last one is the leadership who are actually making the decisions. So if you're one of those, you'll probably be interested in this. Here's the thing. People are different. People are very, very different. There are lots of things you can classify them by, certain psychological principles and saying, yeah, they're all like 2 groups of people, 4 groups of people. No, they're all unique. But the thing is, they're always sharing some mindset. What kind of mindset it will be? Business people saying, why do I pay for testing? Features, making the most of revenue, of a profit. Why do I need to pay for testing? That's what they say. How would I respond to this? Well, I would say that, right now, world is changed. You will see a different competitiveness across the globe. You cannot compete only with features right now. Now, I would say like 90% of all products are competing by non-functional characteristics, by the way. The thing is that, well, usability, portability, interoperability, whatever, all of that can be achieved by testing. That's the rule of thumb right now, what's happening. People say that developers can do, a complex development. Why developers cannot do testing? How would I respond to this? I would say they can actually. Everybody can do testing, right? You can go out the street and ask anybody about, like, can you do testing? Everybody say, yeah, sure. What's the problem of clicking buttons? The thing is, the question is in depth price, and remaining risks. Only good test engineers can do the good testing, can achieve good quality. Developers can do testing, sure, yeah. But the question is, hey, customer, are you ready for the defects on the production? Because, well, your developers can do testing. They can remove 20% of defects. Well, good test engineers can remove 90. There is the difference. People say the best way to cut the costs of development is to cut the testing budget, right? So if I want to cut costs, why don't I cut testing? Well, quality will be less. Yeah, maybe. The answer is, yeah, you cut in the testing budget, but you also cut the quality gates. For example, every competent test engineer says, like, before I start testing, tell me what you're expecting in the end. What should be the quality of a final product? Tell me what kind of defects do you accept? Like, for example, do you accept minor defects on production? That will cost you much cheaper. If you don't accept any defects, it will cost you much bigger, right? Because there's a difference if you're testing the game or a medical device, right? So the thing is, if you're cutting testing budget, you should also release the quality gates. There will be more risks, more defects. People say testing can be done easily at a fixed price. So, like, they give you, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, and you should be go with that. The thing is that it's nearly impossible. I'll tell you how it goes. They say 2 months, you spend 2 months testing, you execute 70% of the test cases, people say, okay, that's fine, you'll be good. Let's just release it on a Friday evening and everything's gonna fly, right? Well, the response is the price of testing always depends on the number of defects. Because the more defects, the more time you spend to track them, to investigate them, to fix them, to verify them, correct? So the better are your developers, the shorter will be testing cycle. So there is a the good dependency here. People say, I pay for the testing. Why so there shouldn't be any defects. What kind of that? I mean, I pay for it and there are defects. Why can't you remove all of them? We all know the answer, right? So all defects cannot be removed. The bigger testing effort, the less of defects and their severity remains. So the more you pay, the less defects you will have. That should be clear. And I think the last one. Why do I need to pay for a senior QAs when it's so simple just to click buttons? Well, the efficiency of testing and the complexity requires seniority. The more complex solution you have, the better QA specialist you have. Now, I have the last one. Oh, really? Too many slides. All right. Who needs test cases and all that shit, right? I need maximum test automation. I'm pretty sure many of you heard that, right? Why do we need test cases? Let's just start automate it right now. The answer is, well, we actually can't, because the efficiency of automation relies on the test cases. What are you gonna, automate? What exactly? I mean, if you don't have the test cases, you cannot achieve test coverage. You cannot guarantee anything. Why this is the problem? As a result, I can easily see the outcome of development. What's the outcome of testing? This is, I think, one of the key problems. Business people, they are not like us, not like engineers. Maybe there is business people across here, but anyway, business people, they see the outcome. When developer do some coding, you see the result, right? You see the compiled project. Well, you can click buttons, you can see it, and I see the result. What is the result of the test engineer work? Defects, right? Okay, defects can be found by developers. and there are still defects remaining in the end. I mean, on production. So why should I pay for testing? What is the problem? What is the outcome? And the only good answer to that is, this is the point I will recommend to every test person to do, is to demonstrate the business value of testing. Whatever you do in testing, always you want to, do some just simple testing or leading a team or selling services, you need to demonstrate the business value of testing in the beginning and continue to do it every day until you're done. Because only in this way you can resolve lots of myths you see just right now. So, because business people, they do not see the outcome of testing. And they need to see them. So, what is interesting is that when I was saying that people are very different, they are. For example, I don't know, pick a country and there will be a different culture, different mindset, different things. Like, for example, in Europe, it's okay when you have a team of senior engineers, and if your boss will tell you, let's just not fix the code, let's just put more cloud environment to fix the performance. What would you say? You'll say, no, it's not going to work. I mean, we need to fix it because with time, costs for infrastructure will grow, right? Because this is, okay. For example, if you take Asia, China, Japan, whatever, if a senior person even knows the solution better, this person will just keep quiet. Just because they cannot overcome their leadership. They just need to follow everything. So different culture, different mindset, different opinions. And you need to understand your stakeholders before you're starting to sell them, because you need to know what exactly they want. For example, I like this example of a Tinder application. Maybe somebody of you use that, right? Well, the thing is that for some people, this is the way to find their partner. And this is a good example of how to see how people sell themselves. You can actually take a look and read what the people wrote there, and this is the way how they sell themselves. The thing is that usually they do not understand what other people want. They're trying to get some, understanding in their heads and reflect with the text or pictures. But they do not maybe understand the audience of that. So you cannot sell the thing that your audience doesn't need. But you need to know what actually they need. The question is, here are the quotes that I literally quoted from different customers' words. And this is the case, what they were saying, I need to automate everything, I need a new test framework, I need more testers, blah, blah, blah. But eventually, I figured that they actually were meaning something different. For example, a person says, I need to automate everything. The thing is that they actually don't need it. They just need to have a relax on manual testing, because they have the extensive manual testing, a lot of these cases, lots of test engineers, and it was very slowing down their development cycle. So customer doesn't need to automate everything. It's just a way to fix that problem. So to understand that, you need to use some tools that I'm going to show you later. Here, one client was saying, I need a new test framework. The thing is that legacy test framework took too much time for the maintenance. There is an interesting one. Yeah, I need to teach my testers how to test better. The amount of escape defects was pretty high. But the reason is, it's not why testers were doing poor. The thing is that it was a huge solution on, up to 10 different environments being tested by 3 people. You can actually teach them how to test, but they won't test everything properly because they just don't have amount of resources. So here's the thing. You need to translate what people say to what they actually mean. And this is the key to everything. Like we usually, when we talk to each other, I would say the biggest half of our conversation, when we say something, we mean something different. This is always like it works. This is okay. We're all people. But, well, while I'm here, I'll be honest with you, for sure. The thing is that it's a classic client, doctor-patient problem. So what customer requests is based on symptoms. For example, if you have, I don't know, a headache, that's a symptom. You don't know what was actually the problem. Maybe you were drinking too much, who knows. Maybe you have some other disease, whatever. And the thing is, people always complain about symptoms, not about the real pain points, because they need an expert to know what is the real problem, to put a diagnosis. Why are you expecting that problems? And the only way to solve them properly is actually curing the disease. So, but the thing is, you cannot cure the disease. For example, in this case, where there was three test engineers were trying to cover a big solution on different environments. This is like a good thing for you, saying like, yeah, you need to hire more testers, What would clients respond to you? Nah, you're bad expert. Teach my people. Why do I need to hire more? So the thing is like when we are going to a doctor and we say to the doctor, hey, I got a headache. Can you fix it, please? Doctor says, you have to stop drinking. Say, what? I mean, like what? You're a bad doctor. I'll go to somebody else who will give me a pill. I will take it and I'll be fine. No? The same thing happens when you're selling something to someone. You cannot fix their problems, all their problems right away. But there is only need to have a balance. See, the people usually don't trust treatment programs. They don't show a quick progress. If you take a pill and the result is in a week, I need something faster. People don't trust doctors that are saying, you shouldn't worry about this. I'm worrying, You should tell me what is the problem. Tell me. People don't like doctors that are saying that the pills they Googled doesn't work. That's the thing we usually do, right? We Google something. We go into a doctor and say, hey, I Googled for these pills. Can I get a receipt for them? I think that's going to work. Doctor said, no. You Google it wrong. The same way is with testing. I mean, lots of people, when you see the problem, they start to Google it and they see the quick solution and they come into you and say, I want to rewrite my Angular application on React. I ask, why? Well, because I got a good buddy who told me that. So, and people don't like to come back to doctors with the same issue again and again. So you can fix their symptoms, right? You can give them the pill. This pill gonna work within like I don't know, 30 minutes, whatever. The thing is that the next day you have the headache. In a week you have a headache. In 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, and you're thinking, that's a bad doctor. I'm taking these pills, but headache is not going out. So the thing is that to solve that, you need to keep the balance. I mean, you have to eliminate the symptoms while healing the disease at the same time. So once you have this case, you need to combine the noticeable quick benefits and the strategic benefits together. So proposing something, saying like, hey, I can fix your problem here partially and here strategically, so you won't come back to me again. You'll remember me as a good expert and you won't face with the same problem later. So I can fix your problem here, but I can tell also your future, what you're gonna face with later. So that's the way how it can be done. Now, it's a very good question. how to do it. Yeah, this is like a complex thing. I mean, there are actually a list of the tools and approaches that I use, and I did my best to put them here on the plate. Some data I've changed because I cannot uncover them, but what I could do is right here. So I'm going to tell you about the ways how to do it. Number one is the old, well-known maturity model. There are lots of on the market models like TMMI, CTP, etc. You can actually Google these keywords if you don't know about it. There are lots of these maturity models, but what they actually do, the maturity means it reflects some progress that you've been done. For example, if you're doing bodybuilding, you need to track your progress. Is it correct? How you can do it? You know, with a ruler, of course, with, I don't know, measuring your weight, etc., measuring your heartbeat, whatever. The thing is that you need to know where you are right now, where you will be tomorrow, where you will be in a year. Maturity model that does perfectly. So, of course, in a company we have like in-house maturity model that actually very ties up to what we need. And this is like an example that you can use to build your own model if you want. So basically what is it is the list of areas that are related to what you're doing. I don't know, test policies, test process, test approaches, test tools, metrics, data governance, whatever. And they have different levels. Level 1, 2, 3, 4. We use 4 levels. Some people may use 5 or 3. The thing is that there is a text in the intersection between them, which clarifies what you should do, what you should have to be level 1, level 2, level 3, or 4. And when you're reading this, you need to say yes or no. Is it true or false? The thing is, you have this maturity model. You come to a client or to somebody and ask them, like, can we fill this out right now? Yes, we can. Well, let's talk about that. We see in this area it's level 2, this area level 3, this area level 1. And afterwards, in the end, you are showing them the baseline. So this is the moment when we started to work together on something. So this is what we have right now. It can be reflected like this chart. This is like a regular Google Sheets chart with the different areas and the highlight. For example, the blue one is where they are right now, and the red one, it's the target, where they want to be. And only you, the expert, can tell them what is their to-be state. And you know, once you defined current state and future state, you can actually track the progress, right? Re-evaluating that maturity model in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, etc. So the thing is that this model can show the progress. See, the business value of testing, as we've been discussed before, it can show you the benefit they had while working with you. And they probably will continue to do it because, you know, everybody wants to grow. Like everybody wants to, you know, make something better of their company, of themselves, and this is the way to do it. Second tool, it's called value stream mapping. It may look complex, but the thing is that testing is not a separate silo. Testing, this is the function that has been correlated with the other functions. Development, DevOps, processes, agile, whatever. Many different functions all together. And the thing is that the only way to properly fix the disease is to see a big picture. The testing as a part of a big picture. And this is the only way to find it. So the value stream mapping is the tool that allows you to map all your activities on the timeline. This is like very highly detailed, low detailed picture, but in reality, it can be a whiteboard, like during, I don't know, the size of this room, fully with stickers, notes, etc. You take one release, you're putting all the phases, what we've done, where was the requirements, where was the design phase, the review phase, the code, testing, etc. As you see here, the interface, requirements walkthrough, and the things. Once you mapped all of them, you can notice some very good things. Like, for example, okay, I see here from September 2018 to November 2019. Well, that's like 14 months, And why, like, for example, why the requirements walkthrough like took 2 months? Or why we had a gap out there? Or what we were doing that period? So this tool can help to see the place of testing in the whole picture. For example, it can actually show one good thing. Like, I've seen one very good client. It's like one of the biggest healthcare corporations in the world, but they were not doing actual the medical device. They've been doing software for the data exchange, but whatever. I mean, they were following Agile, but the thing is that, the testers were hired. They had a project for 2 years, and the testers were hired like in 1.5 years after the start of the project. The question is why? So, this is like the way we were always doing. But said, but you're following the Agile. Yes, but, so this tool can help you to do that. We have a limited time, so I'll keep up. Number 3 is the metrics evaluation. Metrics is a very powerful tool because business people like numbers. And you can give them numbers. You can actually tell them what's good or bad. Like, for example, there are a list of metrics here, but in reality, there are lots of metrics. I don't know, tens of them, hundreds. For example, customer defects, which means post-production defects. What is the good amount of them? How can you actually correlate, across the domain? The thing is that it's like you need to know what is your place comparing to your competitors. If you ask yourself, what is the acceptable amount of customer defects? Well, I can show you some of them. This is, the metrics with a star. They may be depending on the domain. For example, automotive, media, healthcare, gaming, whatever. But the thing is, like, customer defects, generally speaking, if you have less than 3%, you're good. If you're from 3 to 5, that's acceptable, but can be better. If more than 5%, that's the problem. And, usually, big companies, they do track those standards for themselves. I do, like, for example, so I can show you actually these metrics right here. So you can actually use them and show the customer what's good or what's not. So they can actually see where the problem is. And you can actually track those metrics at the customer side and say them, you have problems there and there. And those metrics I cannot calculate. For example, I cannot calculate automated regression amount. How many of the test cases are automated? Why? Because you don't have a links between the test cases and the automation script. And you need to fix that to get this done. So you can actually see the number 1 task to do it. You should just create those links. The checklist-based interviews. If you want to know how to deal with some things, you have to create a checklist of all the questions related to the audience, who you're going to talk to, which domains related, and general questions. So once you have those questions done, you can actually fix their responses, because this is what is interesting. People can change their minds, and you cannot prove them they were saying something before. You need to fix it somewhere. You have this, they said it, you recorded or wrote it down and send a follow-up. So you have it fixed. And you can get back to it when you need. Say, like, you were saying about this. Look, I have it here. And that's it. I'm exactly on time. As I promised, you have the quiz with the questions you can answer. So please follow up, and yeah, you will have something interesting for you. Dziękuję. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.
Okay, do we have any questions? Maybe one,
Maybe two.
maybe two. We have time.
Yeah. If you don't have any questions, you can tell your story. I mean, who had something similar that have been described here? Raise your hand. Nobody? Oh.
I check if we have any questions from the online. No, online is also clear.
Yeah, but
Okay, we have
please.
questions. Okay.
Presentation? Yes, you can get it.
Yeah, they will be live recording available after the.
Yeah, this presentation should be available. So
Yes, so we're
Sure.
recording everything with stream. Okay, do we have any question? I can see. Thank you, Anton.
thank you. I'll be here, so you can ask your questions personally. Thank you.